Welcome to the very first episode of Wake Up with Gratitude. Today's special guest, Sean Dillon, all the way from Vancouver,
Hello, Jim. I'm excited to be here.
as well as Isha Gill, all the way from the top floor of my house.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Today's topic is gratitude, specifically things that we didn't realize we were grateful for until quarantine. But first, let's start with a definition. Everyone has their own unique twist on the definition of gratitude. For me, it's a realization. Oftentimes, we look past what is right in front of us and don't realize until we don't have it anymore.
Yeah, I think everyone has their own definition of gratitude. Some people think it's the physical act of saying thank you and actually physically being gracious, while others think it's more of a mental mindset, being in a positive emotional mindset. In my opinion, it doesn't matter which way you think of it, whether you think gratitude is an emotional state that signals our recognition for what others have done for us, or whether it is being the physical action of saying thank you. It's all the same.
I totally agree with Sean. Various definitions of gratitude describe it as being thankful, giving thanks, the emotional state of thankfulness, and having or showing appreciation for the kindness received from others. In this way, I believe it's simultaneously a state of being, an act of doing, and an emotional gift granted to another.
Now, let's move on to the main topic of this podcast, which is things we didn't realize we were grateful for until this quarantine. So let's start off with listing off a few things. Isha, what do you have to say?
For me, the biggest thing would probably be school because without it, I didn't realize how messed up my routine would have been. Like with school, I have a proper time to wake up, I come home, I eat, then I have a set time for homework, and I go to bed at a reasonable time. And without it, I've been waking up at like 3 p.m. and going to bed as late as like 6. So
Yeah,
it's really, yeah.
everyone's sleep schedules are definitely messed up. Sean, do you have anything that you're...
Yeah, I have to agree with Isha there with school, but I'm for a different reason. Mine is more so with the human interaction aspect of school. Like, all day being with my friends, other people, teachers. You don't really think about how much that does for you until it's all taken away. Like, for me, I've just been cooped up at home the entire quarantine, and I've never missed talking to somebody so much.
Yeah,
It's the entire aspect of talking to other people, sharing ideas with people face to face.
I've talked to a few people this quarantine, and everyone seems to always say that the friends is the most important part, what they miss the most.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of feels like the whole world has kind of come to a halt, especially with like the main part of my life, which is sports, is completely stopped right now, all the way from professional to amateur sports. And I think I really took for granted the little things like spending time in the hotel with my team, or even just going to the rec center on the Sunday and just playing basketball with my friends that I never realized would just stop one day.
Yeah, I totally know what you mean there, Ajay. Even with sports completely stopped, one of the main things me and my dad would do on a weekend was just watching sports. Whether it's like basketball, football, soccer. Sports is one of those things that universally could get people together. You just sit down on your couch with your family, watch sports. It was just an entertaining thing to do. And now we don't have those anymore. We don't have anything to watch on TV on a Sunday night.
Completely agree with you.
I agree, Sean. One of the few things my brothers and I had in common was watching basketball. And it was a really good and fun way to spend time together, and it helped me really appreciate the sport they play and also learn more about it. And it wasn't only about the watching either. Like, we always talked about the games later on or just anything that was happening in the world of basketball.
And so now that this podcast is coming to an end, I think we should talk about things we appreciate that we still have during this quarantine. One thing I'm grateful for is still having some freedom of going outside, unlike some other countries like the UK, for example, where the virus is way worse.
Yeah, I totally agree, Ajay. Thankfully, this quarantine hasn't been so serious in that we can't leave our house at all. Like, I can still go outside with my sister or my dad or my entire family, per se, and just go play some basketball or go shoot some hoops outside. Also, I can go for a drive with my dad if I really wanted to go outside. Like, we're not fully quarantined inside our house, right? We can still go outside. We can still do some things. We're just limited in what we could do.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that we definitely have to make sure that we don't take these things for granted because we never know. Like tomorrow we could end up like these other countries where the rules are way more strict.
Honestly, I definitely appreciate my phone because I can stay in contact with my friends and family and make sure they're all healthy and safe. Also thankful for my dad, who's tried his absolute hardest to make sure my siblings and I are never bored. He bought us a pool table, a ping pong table, and also opened up the pool for us, and I'm super grateful for that. What I'm most grateful for right now is my family and how hard they've worked to give me a life like this, where I'm not too scared of this virus and living in fear like some others are, sadly.
Yeah, I agree. We are incredibly lucky to be living a life like this thanks to our family, and it's really heartbreaking to see what is happening to others around the world. Anyways, that brings us to the end of this podcast. Thank you, Sean and Isha, for coming down, and I will see you next week for a brand new topic.